virtual secured hypervisor. So in the communication and connectivity protection, so it can happen at the lower layers, that is called access and transport, or in the upper layers, where at the framework level. So if you see the typical security that is provided between the two devices, the confidentiality you can achieve through encryption, right? So you can encrypt the data before sending, and then on the other side will decrypt it, so that anybody who tries to listen to the channel will not know what conversation is going on. So those are that can be symmetric encryption or asymmetric encryption. So you heard of asymmetric encryption? Anybody? So symmetric encryption means you have both sides, the keys are same. So you have the same key. Like when we lock the door, we use the same key to open. But whereas the asymmetric key, you use the key to lock one key, but the unlocking key is different. So somebody, it's used especially in the signatures, like X.509 certificates, where you want to verify it is actually signed by the bank. The bank will sign using their private key, whereas you can verify using the public key. So that means if it is validated, that means actually the document is signed by the bank. So you get it. So those are used in the digital signature. Those are called asymmetric key, because the key that is used for on the one side is different than the key that is used on the other side. And also the communication paradigms are different. Some are request response, some are publish subscribe model. So your security also should take care of the communication patterns. So the other thing is the information flow protection, the data protection aspect. Whether it is the data could be like all your sensor data, all of them needs to be protected, right? So they can be protected either by creating two distinct channels, right? For example, you want to create a secured communication channel between two devices. So you create one channel where things are secure. Suppose you have all the other communication where you are not worried about, even if somebody eavesdrop, it doesn't make any sense, for example. Then you can have one channel where it is secure, the other channel, the normal data flows, so that you isolate the data that is critical through a secure channel, and normal data flows through the unsecured channel. So similarly, you can also divide this network segment. For example, this side of the classroom, if you want to protect that network, and then this side is okay, not even if it is unsecured, then this subnet will be protected and the other subnet is unprotected. So that kind of segmentation somebody can create, so that they don't integrate the traffic, or rather what you call you don't mix the traffic of both the networks. So the secure network traffic flows only within that domain, whereas the unsecure traffic flows in the other networks, so that both are not mixed with each other. So even if somebody tries to hack from this network to the other, it's not reachable. So because it's segmented differently. So that is what network segmentation is about. And then the gateway and filtering is about like you have perimeter security where you can have firewalls, which allows only a particular application to come inside your network, or message with a particular port number, for example, right? So you don't allow, let's say, ports with the 21 with the telnet coming into your network, right? So, for example, port 80 will be allowed because it is a web service. So things like that, protection happens at the perimeter or the periphery of your campus network, right? So those are the kind of gateway and filtering one needs to do. And also network firewalls where you do the intrusion prevention detection and various antivirus updates and all that future. And also the access control using schemes like a. Also, the security is actually implemented in hierarchical layers. You can see this diagram. So the network security is implemented in 6 layers, right? So on the topmost layer is your demilitarized zone, they call it, where your web server and the email server and all of them are on the periphery of your network, right? Because everybody wants to access, let's say, take an example of VIP. So you want some others community also should know what VIP is doing, right? So that those informations are available in your website. So that website should be outside the campus network so that other public also can access it. So that is why it is on the internet demilitarized zone level. So that is outside there. And then you have enterprise network. Within your campus, you will have machines like domain controller. You might have, let's say, electronics department having one machine, and then electrical, computer science, all of them might have different servers. And all the domains are maintained by the domain controller and web server, and so many of the other servers are maintained at the campus network, right? And then within that, you might have, but ideally, this is not about academic campus, rather, you should think of an industrial environment where, like a manufacturing plant and where industrial IoT is relevant. So you will have hierarchy of services, where you will also have plant level demilitarized zone, where like a Windows service update server can be there, or antivirus, means antivirus server can be there. So the periodic patches needs to be applied across the campus network and the campus machines, right? There is periodic update that needs to be pushed to these machines. For example, the machines in the level 2 and 3 will get the update from the machines in the antivirus update server from level 3. So, essentially what you should know is the security architecture is constructed in different layers, and each layer serves different security aspects, right? So the physical devices are the one where your actual decision will impact largely, right? Turning on something, turning off something, or disconnecting something, right? Those are physical actions where the damage is really catastrophic. So that is where the protection is much more important. So if you provide the defense in different layers of security, so then obviously you are taking a right approach, right? So the difference in that layered approach is generally the way one will implement the security. It's not about a flat architecture where you have a hierarchy where different approach needs to be taken at each layers, and one should not be accessible directly from the other, and they are all connected through a firewall. You can see from different demilitarized zone, every layer you have one firewall, right? Even if one of them fails, the other one will protect. If all of them fails, you can see the kind of Ukraine attack and the other attacks that has happened. They have gone through all these layers and then try to penetrate and try to disconnect the complete smart grid services, right? So those are the kind of things one will be able to do if they are not protected at each layer with the right technique. So in terms of the future or some of the emerging technologies, so I just want to highlight how many of you know about 6LoWPAN? You can only see a few hands from that side. Okay. So 6LoWPAN is the IPv6 implementation. Okay, that is defined at IETF. IETF. Anybody can expand IETF? Anybody in the class? IETF. Internet Engineering Task Force, right? So they define protocols for network layer and above. If you know the TCP/IP network layer or a Wi-Fi layer, they define protocols for network layers and above, whereas the physical and MAC layer protocols are defined at IPP. I think many are members of IEEE student chapter. So IEEE works at the physical and MAC layer, whereas the IETF defines protocols at network layer and above. So 6LoWPAN is one of the IETF protocol where they have defined specification for successfully transmitting IPv6 packet on low power devices. These devices can be battery operated and they can work autonomously, but they are internet connected. So that is the major thing one should know about, because they are as good as our personal computer or high-end server. Even though they are small, low-power devices, the way I have shown it on the right side, the blue color one, they can be small IoT devices, but they are as good as our any server because they talk internet protocol. Once they talk internet protocol, they can seamlessly integrate with the internet, and they can also talk HTTP. That means you can connect from your browser and try to query what is the temperature currently. So this query can come from anywhere in the world, right? It doesn't have to be local. So because they talk IP protocol, the query can originate from any part of the internet. So it doesn't have to be in the same country or same city. So those are the kind of things that is enabled through the basic protocol called 6LoWPAN. So this is the 6LoWPAN architecture where you can have a field network with multiple IoT devices connected through a backbone border router to the internet. So on the right side you see what is known as the constrained application protocol, CoAP. They call it CoAP, which is a HTTP compliant protocol, right? So HTTP compliant, when I say, so that means we can connect from your browser and try to use the URL of the device to query any of the sensors that it is managing. For example, I want to know the temperature, or I want to turn off the bulb, or I want to turn on the fan. So if the IoT device is interfaced with these devices, one will be able to control over the internet by sending the command. So if you see the network stack of 6LoWPAN compliant devices, you can see the kind of layers similar to TCP, but there are some protocols that get added by IETF. So like at the application layer, instead of HTTP, we say it is CoAP, constrained application protocol, but they are compatible with HTTP. So HTTP, the one you use it for browsing. Similar application layer protocol is available for IoT network, that is known as CoAP. And below that you have the transport layer protocol, UDP, and secured datagram transport layer security protocol known as DTLS, so that you have a secured CoAP running called CoAP with S, similar to HTTPS, right? When you connect a back side or critical servers, they use the secured communication. So that secured communication requires the transport layer security mechanisms. So and in all of this, the middle layer is the IPv6 layer, which is the critical glue within that whole IP stack. And you have the 6LoWPAN below that, and various physical and MAC layers from Bluetooth, NFC to LoRa, and then NB-IoT, cellular network, and power line communication like narrowband PLC and so on. Right? So, just I will try to give a brief on how security is implemented in the 6LoWPAN network. In the 6LoWPAN network, you have device-to-device communication. 6LoWPAN supports link level security. That means like between two devices, one can have security key embedded into the device, so that you encrypt the communication between these two devices using the pre-shared key, they call it. So you have the keys available in the device. So any communication between these two devices is secured by encrypting the messages. And you can also achieve end-to-end security through IP security and the TTLS program. So in this diagram, you can see the IPsec on the right side and then the TTLS on the right side. So those two are the security approach if you want to do end-to-end security. The end-to-end here, I mean, like from the laptop all the way up to one of the devices. So, but whereas the link layer security is implemented at the MAC layer. So if you know the TCP/IP stack, you have TCP, IP, then your link layer protocol and the physical layer. So the MAC layer will only protect one hop security. It doesn't provide end-to-end security. Whereas the network layer security and transport layer security can provide end-to-end security. That means your source to all the way up to the destination. Whereas the link level security will be per hop, and then again you need to encrypt, decrypt, things like this. So both are serving different purposes. So one should be aware of what to apply where, and so those are important things to do. I think I'll share the slides with Dr. Vijay. Some of the details probably. My idea is to give you pointers so that you develop interest in some of the IETF protocols, right? So those of you having interest in protocols, especially in IoT context, I think you should look at Internet Engineering Task Force, and those are the kind of protocols I try to cover in this, because you have what is known as IETF draft. So the draft will talk about the kind of standards that you are using today in your personal computer and laptop and whatnot, right? All your FTP to Telnet, HTTP, all are defined by IETF. So if you want to know something about IoT protocols, especially from network layer and above, you should learn more at IETF. So from some of the protocols that I cover here, so if you have interest, please go through the IETF website and learn more. So that because there are a lot of research or more of, for example, the emerging protocols are getting defined. Where your some of the projects that you undertake, you will have a lot of ideas that is being discussed in the IETF. So you will get to know a lot of the emerging IoT. So some of these are details. So, for example, at the link level, you can have no encryption, or you can have confidentiality. That means encrypted, or you can have only integrity protection. So you can have multiple layers of security that's possible between two device links. So this is available at the MAC level. And security at the network layer can be complete IP packet be protected, or a header level protection, right? So you can have authentication header where your header is protected, so that you will know whether anybody has maliciously changed the IP header, or you can have complete payload also protected, right? It depends on whether you want confidentiality or whether you want integrity of the packet. So depending on the requirement, you can achieve either confidentiality or only the integrity. So the confidentiality here means encrypting the complete channel. So whereas the integrity means whether anybody has fiddled with the message or any change that has occurred. For example, somebody can change a 0 to 1 and try to create, for example, I want to turn on, somebody can make it into a turn off by flipping the bit from 1 to 0, right? So then if the hash value is different, that means somebody has changed the message. So those are the kind of thing integrity can verify. So integrity means whether the message is as it is, whether it is changed by somebody in the middle, right? That can be verified through some kind of a hash mechanism. So this is again the security payload encryption. So that is the complete payload is secured. So this is again done at using the IP security approach, where the complete packet is, UDP packet is protected. So what are the some kind of network attack that can happen in typical IoT network? node and a destination node, both of them are malicious. So they try to create a what is known as a wormhole tunnel, right? So it is kind of a they create a tunnel between these two nodes and try to send bypass the intermediate nodes so that they can create a malicious data sharing between these two nodes, right? So it is known as a wormhole attack. So another one the below one is known as a sinkhole attack. Sinkhole means like actually the one that is on the top, like node 1, which is supposed to receive all the traffic, whereas the node which is shown in the pink color, it is trying to act as if I am having the best neighbor, or let's say that it is trying to attract all the traffic to itself, right? It was supposed to be going to number 1, right? The root node which is having this top in the hierarchy, which is connected to all the subnetworks, whereas the node which is in the middle try to advertise that such a way that it is attracting all the traffic. So that means this is a malicious node trying to get all the traffic information and all the data that is getting communicated between nodes. So then they will get to know what is the conversation going on between various IoT devices. So they can try to create some adverse scenarios, right? So these are some of the examples, but there could be many such security possibilities, right? So the countermeasures, again, the confidentiality, again, which is about encrypting the messages between devices, and also one should randomly check in terms of whether there are multiple paths that exist between devices, and also you should also authenticate the other neighbor, whether he is really genuine or not. All those are some of the countermeasures one needs to do before actually sending the data to the other. Right? Then only we can avoid such scenarios. So the CoAP DTLS, which was briefed earlier, which is again trying to provide a datagram transport layer security, which is at the transport layer, right? Datagram transport layer is nothing but connectionless transport security mechanism. Generally, the IoT transport layer is connectionless. It is not connection oriented. That is, in the sense, you don't create a end-to-end connection between two devices. Rather, you send a connectionless traffic between two devices. So then DTLS is the appropriate security layer, which helps in terms of your security implementation. So these are kind of protocols that gets developed at IETF. Probably those who are interested more in the DTLS, you can always go to the IETF site. So before actual transaction, the devices go through some kind of what is known as a handshake mechanism, where they need to exchange their certificates, and then they challenge each other, and then find out, before establishing the actual secure communication channel, they go through various message exchanges using what is known as X.509 certificates. So those are publicly crypto system or asymmetric key, which I mentioned about, where you have two sets of key. One is known as a private key, other is a public key. So once it is established, your channel is created for you to communicate. So IETF also has what is known as authentication and authorization recommendations, where resources will be managed by the endpoints, so they can be protected using different authentication mechanism and authorization mechanism. So I have given some of the draft that is generally available in the IETF. So I think some of the details, I recommend that you just go through those. Most of you are interested to know more about the and also IETF also comes up with software update. How do you securely update the software of a device over the internet? So, for example, a firmware of a device needs to be updated over the internet. So, there should be a firmware server that is managed in the internet, so that can periodically update the device. But that update needs to go through some secure channel, right? So even that can happen through some kind of a mutual authentication. Even the device needs to trust the server, and the server also needs to make sure that the device is genuine. So those are the things. And then the manifest is about, for example, the version number of the software, and who is the vendor who is providing, what is the signature, digital signature. If all of them are okay, then only the firmware gets updated onto the device. So they are trying to propose a new scheme where the device needs to be updated on a periodic basis over the internet. Because you can deploy the device, for example, an air quality sensor may be deployed anywhere in the city. So if you want to update, they are not a computer where we can have physical access all the time. So IoT device can be anywhere on the internet, right? Physically as well. So if you want to update periodically, then one has to follow a systematic approach so that the software is updated over the internet. And similarly, a protected execution environment inside the device is also possible by providing what is known as a trusted execution environment. So trusted execution environment you can see on the right hand side of the picture, where you can create a secure domain where you can run all your trusted applications. So you can also have a normal applications that is running in the on the normal virtual machines, right? So where you can have a secure domain, all your secured code runs on the secure domain. So that way you are segregating that programs that needs to be secure and that are normal, so that there is no eavesdropping between these two applications. So the protocols for updating is also provided. Like for example, you can install a trusted application or update the trusted applications. Also, you can create a new secure domain so that within a trusted execution environment, whatever you run is completely protected. So those are the kind of things that is possible with the this protocol. So these are some of the IETF effort that works towards providing trusted execution environment as well as the software. Yeah, with that, I try to conclude this talk. I hope you learned about some of the IETF concepts and some of the protocols in IoT. So I think, as I mentioned, some of the IETF protocols you will get to know more if you try to look at the working group documents. They call it RFCs, request for comments documents, and also work in progress drafts are also available for you to know what protocols are getting developed at IETF. So with that, I'll done this.
Pranav? So on behalf of BIT and Cell School, so we just wanted to thank sir. I think some of the